Hello and welcome once again to my channel. Today we are baking pie. We've already fried pie in the previous day, so I'll leave a link in the description box below. Kindly take a look at that one too. Now, to get the flakiest pie, you have to refrigerate all the ingredients you'll be using. And these are what I put in the fridge the previous night. Now let's start. I'm blending onion and garlic into a paste and add about a teaspoonful of salt to taste. I'm adding cold water. Remember, we are using cold ingredients for this recipe. Once it's smooth, I'll pour it into a bowl, cover it with a cling film, and put it back into the freezer. Now for the filling, I'm going to use tuna chunk for this one. I will pour the oil into a bowl and then use only the tuna chunks. Apart from the tuna chunk, you can use chicken or beef as your filling. You can also use corned beef as well. Some even use sardines too, but then today we are going to use this recipe. If you want to use beef as your filling, kindly check it out in our fried meat pie recipe. I grated some carrots, so I'm adding it to my chunk meat, and then I'm going to dice some onions into it as well. Once I'm done, I'm adding a little bit of stock cube to season it, and then add some white and black pepper too. I'm adding these because I don't want the meaty smell in my pie. Mix it together when you're done. If you want some heat in your meat pie, you can add habanero pepper or cayenne pepper to the mixture and mix everything together. Feel free to add any other vegetable of your choice. When you're done, kindly set it aside and then start with your pie crust. For this recipe, I'm using 4 cups of flour. I'll go ahead and sift it to remove all the lumps in it. When you're done sifting the flour, you add your secret ingredient, which is the milk powder. I'm using a 1/4 cup of milk powder for this recipe. It makes it rich and very nutritious as well. Now I'm adding about a teaspoon of nutmeg to the mixture and then mix everything together. Once it's well incorporated, I'm going to add in my margarine. I'm using about 500 grams of margarine because I want it very flaky. Now rub it all in to make sure that everything is well mixed. It's really cold at this stage, so do a little at a time, and it's very tedious as well, so take note of it. You rub everything inside so all the margarine is mixed with the rest of the dry ingredient. If you're in Ghana, always use cooked bran as it gives a more rich aroma and taste. You can rub it on your palm like I'm doing to make it easy for you. This is how it's supposed to look like. Don't exert too much pressure as you would activate the gluten. Now, once I'm done, I'm going to add my garlic and onion paste to it. I put this in the freezer too, so it's really cold. Add it in little at a time. Now, one secret with our pie is that when you add too much water to it, it will make it hard, and we wouldn't want a hard crust for our pie. Now this is the texture I will be going for. The crust should be able to hold up when you put some in your palm and be flaky as well. Now we will need a rolling pin and a cutter for the pie crust. You can use any utensil lid if you have in your house too. Now I'm going to sprinkle some flour onto my work surface and put some of the crust on it. I will sprinkle same on my rolling pin and then start rolling. Remember that it's very flaky because we didn't add more water to this recipe. So don't be rolling up and down as you would activate the gluten, and we don't want that. You roll little at a time and then you come back again in that order. When it starts breaking, you sprinkle some flour onto it and then you roll it again. You can roll this one little at a time, but then if you're making bulk meat pie, you can't be doing it that way. So you have to roll everything together and then you cut it once and for all. Once you get a finer texture or a finer surface, you start cutting your crust. I'm going to use the round shape for this one. So I'll cut it and then take out the remaining crust and roll it back again. Now once you're done, I'm going to coat the edges with water to serve as binding agent for my pie. Once I'm through with it, I'm adding my filling to my taste. Now one good thing with making your own pie is that you decide how much filling you put in your crust. When you go out and you buy your meat pie in Ghana, you realize that you only have air when you open it up. So make sure to learn how to do it at home and then enjoy yourself with your malt or your Coca-Cola or any mineral soft drink as we call it in Ghana too. Now I'm going to cover it and then use my thumb to design my pie. Now this pie is very flaky, so take your time as we wouldn't want to break our crust. You can also use your fork to make the pie designs too, but then I prefer to use my thumb as it makes it more beautiful when I do it this way. Let's repeat the process one more time. I'm rolling my crust. And when I'm done, I'm going to cut it into the desired shape I want. This time round, I'm using the square shape. When I'm done cutting, I will take out the remaining crust and then roll it back again. You can roll it into a flatter surface and then cut it, or you can cut it into chips form and bake it as well, and it's really tasty and delicious. If you don't have the brush, you can use your hands like I'm doing, and then you fill your crust up with your filling. Now take your time and cover it gently together and then use your index finger to make the pie design like I'm doing here. When you're done, you place it gently onto your baking tray. Now I'm adding my egg white to evaporated milk and mixing it together. This I'll be using to glaze my pie. You can poke holes with your fork at this stage, but then I prefer not to because already the crust is flaky and I don't want to spoil it. Now I'm putting my pie into my preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 35 minutes. After 35 minutes, this is how it looks like. very flaky and nice too. Thanks so much for watching my channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment for more recipes. Bye bye.